Welcome back to Remember Books, where we remember books in two ways. We remember our beloved books and the classics, and we remember how it feels to browse a library and a bookstore maybe and find your next gem, a book you really want to read, put it on your to-be-read list, your TBR. So we hope to help you find those books, and I'm going to share a beloved book to myself this episode of Remember Books. So this episode, I want to share with you one of my favorite beloved books, and it is called Lovely, Dark, and Deep by Amy McNamara. Lovely, Dark, and Deep is a young adult book, and it is about Wren. She has suffered a loss, a tragedy, and she longs to get away, and she needs to heal. And she's able to go up to her father's place. He has an art studio in the rocky coast of Maine, and it is a quiet and dark place that she feels she can go and heal from this loss. And this book is talking about that. I won't tell you any spoilers as far as what she's dealing with or why, but one thing I love about this book is that not only can you hear the conversations and you see all the action of the main character, but you can hear her every thought and observation and perception of things. It's like you can fully know this character as she's experiencing everything. And I've never read a character that thoroughly. Like, I've never had that kind of writing before. I've never experienced that kind of writing until I read this book. So it's unique in that way. I'd like to read you an excerpt of it to give you a little taste of that. And so I will read chapter 1 of Lovely, Dark, and Deep by Amy McNamara. Chapter 1, John Wells' Daughter. Be careful what you wish for. I had things I didn't want, and then I lost them. One minute I was breaking up with my boyfriend Patrick. The next I was the only one left standing, empty-handed. A ghost of who I'd been, broken in a way you can't see when you meet me. My name is Mamie, but my dad calls me Wren. My parents never agreed on anything when they were married, so I answer to both names. I like having a spare, especially now. Besides, it drives my mother nuts. She thinks my dad calls me Wren to bug her. She says she named me Mamie because it means wished for child, and she had to try so hard to have me. Like she conjured me out of sheer will, which she probably did. That's the kind of person she is. But I looked it up, and it also means bitter. Either way, Mamie died on the side of the road somewhere back in my old life, and I moved away. Now I'm Wren full-time in a house on the edge of the known world, Upper East Coast, with my dad, who spends his days in his studio. Perfect for both of us. I came here because it's pine dark and the ocean is wild, the kind of quiet noise you need when there's too much going on in your head. Like the water and the woods are doing all the feeling, and I can hang out, quiet as a headstone, in a between place, a blank I can bear. I wake up in the morning, get into clothes, and out on my bike before I can think about anything. It's a place that could swallow me if I need it to. So that's what I'm doing. Music on full blast, trying to think about nothing, crunching over brittle twigs and sticks in the woods along a road I never see anyone use, when a Jeep comes flying around a bend right at me. Before I can think, I swerve off the road and into a huge tree. My front tire crumples when I hit. Dust and pine needles lift into a cloud, and the car skids to a stop. The driver door whips open and a guy gets out, a couple years older than me. "Are you all right?" He looks totally rattled and maybe even a little annoyed, like I'm the one who messed up somehow. I sit up, untangle myself from the bike, and wipe sticky needles from my palms. The fall knocked the wind out of me. Takes me a second before I can make air come in and out again normally. The front wheel of my bike is bent like an angry giant grabbed it and gave it a twist. For a second, I think it looks kind of beautiful, like something my dad might like, something that used to make me wish I had my camera. I stared at the ruined rim. Are you all right? Can you talk? He's looking at me wildly like he thinks I might be really hurt or something. I can breathe again, but I've been quiet for so long I'm out of practice. I can't think of a single thing to say. He turns away and I hear the engine clunk off, grabs his phone. Wait, I say, finding my voice. I'm fine, see? I stand. I was just shocked. He tosses his cell back into the passenger seat and runs a shaky hand through his hair. After a deep breath, he says, I didn't see you. There's never anyone along this road. I'm trying to think if I've seen him around. The town's pretty small, but I haven't exactly been hanging out anywhere, and he doesn't look small town. Charcoal gray shirt, thick, dark hair falling into his eyes, long, straight nose. Something far away inside me rings like a little wake-up bell in a long abandoned cavern. He's still kind of scanning me, a slightly frantic up and down, like he might spot something broken, like I'm a miracle for not being flattened into the ground. God, I could have killed you. His eyes go to the bent tire. I wrecked your bike. I can't find anything to say. When you've been quiet as long as I have, words leave you. I'm fine, I manage again. I had my music on loud. I didn't hear your car. I reached up to my hair and pulled some leaves and sticky needles out of it. Did you hit your head? No, it's just tree stuff in my hair. I blush. He stares at me for a second. I look at the sky, like maybe I could somehow slip out of this situation, fly up and away. Are you John Wells' daughter? He's starting to sound relieved, runs another shaky hand through his hair. I thought I heard you come up here. I nod. God knows what he's heard. I'm sure I made the news last May. The Telegraph doesn't miss a chance to print stories on my dad, their adopted famous son. Never mind that his work leaves them scratching their heads and laughing at what people will pay good money for and call art. I look at my hands. Both palms are torn up and pitch sticky. I pick a small piece of rock out of one. The knee of my jean is torn. Like I'm 8 years old and just wiped out on my bike in the park. His eyes follow mine. You're hurt. He winces. Let me take you into town. Dr. Williams can check you out, clean you up. No, that's okay. I'm okay. I don't want to go anywhere, see anyone, certainly not to the clinic or anywhere remotely like a hospital. I'm fine, I say more assertively. Really, I'll just go home and wash up. It's no big deal. Let me give you a ride home at least, he says, getting in the car, reaching across the front seat and pushing open the passenger door. I start to pick up my bike, but my palms are a wreck. I stop a second, wipe them a little on my thighs. Leave it, he says, watching me. Please, you're bleeding. I'll come back for it later. I lift the frame a little more, lean it against a tree. A bird is loud overhead, a hawk maybe hunting, that strange, raspy, screeching sound. I wasn't even close to the end of my ride. I need to be out, alone. But he's not going to let me walk home. That's obvious. I kick around in the needles to find my iPhone, buy myself another few seconds to get it together, calm down a little. I look at my bike one last time and walk around to the waiting car door. A pair of metal crutches lean against the passenger seat. He moves them over a bit and I slide in. He watches me look at them. Break an ankle? I ask. I always say the right thing. He turns to blush, shakes his head. I'm sick. Looks away. Buckle up. I'm thrumming from adrenaline. Takes me a minute to get the buckle in the right place. He backs the car into the woods a bit, whips a U-turn, heads for my dad's. Well, that's the end of chapter 1, and I hope you really enjoyed Lovely, Dark, and Deep by Amy McNamara, and you can get it at the Saegertown Area Library. We have lobby pickup service now, so you can actually read the book, so give us a call or use our online catalog. So See us next time on Remember Books.